shockwave, and this signifies where everyone gets third-degree burns. This is what the Trinity explosion would look like in downtown LA, but if I put in the B-83 of 1,200 kilotons, that detonation would look like this. It's like almost 2 miles wide, just the fireball. Now, the B-83 is just the most powerful nuke that we currently have in our arsenal. We've tested many more powerful nukes. For instance, the Russians tested the Tsar Bomba, which was a 50 megaton bomb. And this would literally destroy the entirety of Los Angeles. I just turned on the casualties. Estimated casualties are about 3 million people. Instantly. I think there's a good reason why people don't normally think about this stuff. Going back to the B-83, yes, this is smaller, but we built 650. There are 650 of these things just out there in the world somewhere. That is enough to scorch every single square inch of California. Are you scared yet? I am. This is the...
Shalom. We're back with another lesson. So before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Wadash, to the apostles and elders of the great millstone who rule well. I'd like to get double honor. Shalom to the 144,000, to the 1/3, to the hopeful elect. Shalom. We're here with a lesson I'm going to call The Nukes Were Made for the Lord Purpose. And as we seen in the video, this guy went over the damage radius of the first nukes ever created to the most advanced ones they've been using today. And those of us in the truth, we know that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to use these nukes for his purpose. The main purpose, to destroy Babylon the Great for all the wickedness they have done against him. But also other places will be hit. This is why these weapons of mass destruction were created ultimately, to burn this wicked whore with a thermonuclear fire, along with the wicked men here in Babylon, even 2/3 of our people. This was already prophesied. It was already commissioned by Yahweh Ba'ashem and Yahweh Shai to happen even in the foundations of the earth. So in order for this to come about, we know Yahweh Ba'ashem and Yahweh Shai gave Esau Edom the technology to create these nuclear weapons. Basically gave him the technology to create his own end, to bring himself to destruction, which we're going to get there first. Which shows that Yahweh Ba'ashem and Yahweh Shai really hates you if he have you create the weapon that's going to eventually put you down. This is Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. See, it was the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem and Yahweh Shai that Esau Edom got this technology, got this great sword. For one, he used it to put the whole world in subjection when he fired off Fat Man and Little Boy on Japan to get everyone's mind in order. But ultimately, that led to almost every other nation that could create a nuclear bomb creating them. And we're seeing also those nations today are sharing with their allied nations who couldn't create the bomb. But little do people know, like Christians or anyone who down taught the Bible, that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has already talked about those nukes in the Old and New Testament. Because we know the Christians love to run to the New Testament. Well, they talk about nuke. Oh, I ain't never read it. I ain't never read it in the New Testament because the Old Testament don't count. But we know Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai knew this was going to happen. So he not only put prophecies of nuclear weapon being used in the Old, but also in the New. We're going to go here. This is 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord would come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. And what's gonna be that great noise? That explosion from that nuclear missile, from those nuclear missiles. Salakia, because you go to Revelation 9 and 16, the Lord said over 200 million nukes will be fired upon Babylon the Great. That gonna be that great noise. You think all them nukes going off at one time and it ain't gonna be heard around the world? Remember, when they go off together, the Lord said the earth gonna shake to and fro like a drunkard. And we seen the most powerful nuclear missile that Russia created or was testing can destroy at least all of LA and a little more. Now, what's gonna happen when 200 million of those be fired off? Think about how bright that is gonna be. Think about how loud that noise is gonna be, man. And the elements melt, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And we know, if you look it up, it says that the nuclear missiles, when they fire off at ground zero, is hotter than the center of the sun. Now, they don't know how hot the center of the sun is, but by their measurements, they're saying it's hotter than the center of the sun. And if that's true, you don't think rocks, grass, trees, heck, even the air and water will be melted back into their base elements? And the earth also, and the works thereof, shall be burnt up. Yeah, because of that fervent heat, that intense heat that's gonna radiate from those nuclear missiles. See, it won't be anywhere for you to run with 200 million missiles being launched at one place, man. Because it's the will of the Lord that those missiles be created. That's why they was even invented in the first place. As we read in that Isaiah 54, it was the will of the Lord that Esau Edom come up with the nuclear missile, which is going to ultimately lead to his ultimate destruction by that thermonuclear fire. Like I said, that's the New Testament. We're going to go to the Old Testament. And there's plenty of scripture in both Old and New that you can get. This Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh. What day? The day of the Lord. As we just talked about in 2 Peter 3:10. Behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly. And who is more proud and who is more wicked than Esau Edom, aka the so-called white man? No one, man. They were created to be the wicked. Shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, says Yahweh of hosts, and it shall lead them neither root nor branch. Which shows you that Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai's plan is to burn this place up completely. Remember, he said about when it's done being on fire, this place is going to be a total desert. From sea to shining sea, as they love to say in their song. This place is going to be an utter and total waste because of the wickedness that it has done to the world, because of the evils that it has done to the Israelites, and just because of the anti-Hamashiach bullshit that they've been pushing over these past, 500 years. Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai got to burn these people up, man. The witchcrafts and all other kind of wickedness that they don't perform. Which we're going to go here. This is Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. And what's his sword? Those nuclear missiles. So when they go into the lower earth I think it's lower earth atmosphere is how they say it. Lower earth space. And they drop down on Babylon the Great. That's what it's talking about. It being bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. And we know Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. See, Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai is going to use these nukes to judge Esau Edom for all their wickedness, man. And he's going to use the other nations And we also know Esau, Edom allies to bring about this fiery destruction that he had purpose against Babylon the Great. Which we're going to go into Jeremiah 50 and get a few and skip around a little bit. All right. We're going to start first here at Jeremiah 51. The word of the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet, which both talking about America. All right. We're going to drop down to 9. For lo, I will rise up and cause to come against Babylon, aka America, an assembly of great nations from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows, and those arrows are talking about those nuclear missiles, those 200 million, shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So the Lord said every nuke is going to hit its mark. Not one is going to miss. Not one of them is just going to get hit and they're going to fly off and it's just going to land into the water and explode. No. Every one of them is going to do what the Lord has a purpose to do. And that's utterly waste this demonic whore to its other end, man. All right. We're going to go here to 14. Well, let's start at 13. Because the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall wholly be desolate. You see? This is what he's talking about. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just stay there. Babylon the Great, aka America, will be made desolate from the 200 million nukes that's going to hit this place simultaneously. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hissed that are plagues. Here's the point. Verse 14. Put yourself array against a Babylon around about, all ye that bendeth the bow. So all the nations that got nukes, the Lord said, come against them and get ready to fire those things. Shoot at her. Spare no arrow. See? The Lord telling them, hey, every nuke that you got, let it loose. This is the purpose I made them for, to burn this whole up. So we saw in this video as this man went over the different types of nukes and how powerful they are. What you think gonna happen when all those nukes get released in one place, man? There's nothing that's gonna survive this. There won't be a getting up out of this. I also tell you in Revelation, in 1 hour, this place is gonna be destroyed. In an hour, and we see why. Because once those nukes go off, man, there is no running. Because it's gonna be more than enough to destroy everyone that's left here. For she has sinned against Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai. Now we're gonna go down some more. Let's see. We're gonna start here at 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon. And we're seeing Babylon getting caught up in the snare of Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai. Because of its pride, because it's foolishness, because their evil king. We're seeing Babylon getting put into in a position of straits by Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai, to where these nations are gonna be mad enough to shoot Babylon the Great with every missile that they have, every nuke that they possess. And thou wast not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou art striving against Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai. See, they done strived against Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai, which ultimately leading to their downfall. Because as the Elder Menatazat love to say, your arms is too short to fight Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai. So they haven't realized that yet. So now they're caught up in the trap that Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai has for them. And we're seeing with them helping Israel battle Iran, the other nations are suffering due to the high gas prices. Well, the high cost of oil, which is which is destroying their economy. And what you think gonna happen, man? They're gonna piss them off. Like, you want to help them to mess us up? So when the Lord put the spirit on them to blow this place away, they're gonna be more than happy to. Yahweh had opened his armory and had brought forth the weapon of his indignation. And what's the weapon of his indignation? These thermonuclear missiles, man. That even had these nations, even Esau, Edom, create. For this is the work of Yahweh power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. See? The world gonna know that this was the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai, that America be utterly and totally wiped off the face of this earth. Come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouse, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Leave nothing of her to be left. See, Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai want this place erased off the map. It's gonna be a perpetual memorial like Sodom and Gomorrah was, to show the other nations this is what happened when you come against Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai and his saints. Utterly and total destruction. And I'm gonna go down and get one more. Let me see. Let's see. 29 should be the last one. Call together the archers against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it around about. See, the Lord reiterating to show that he mean business, man. That this is what's gonna happen. All these nations, even Esau, Edom allies. And they tell you that in Obadiah, I think 1:7. The men of your confederacy. Yeah, they're gonna join the other nations and putting you down for the wickedness that you've done against them, man. Let none thereof escape. See? In an hour, man. What you gonna be? How you gonna be able to get out of here in an hour? When the Lord destroy this place, there won't be no escape if you're not of the elect. Everyone but the elect will be destroyed here in Babylon. Utterly wasted. Recompense her according to her works and according to all she had done. Do unto her, for she had been proud against Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai, against the Holy One of Israel. And that's going to be this wicked demonic whore ultimate fate, to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. So when you see these videos of anyone talking about the nukes or talking about how World War III gonna have nukes, just remember, this place here, Babylon the Great, it is gonna be a giant bonfire to Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai. So let that be something to keep your mind straight on the path you need to stay on, because you don't want to end up taking that nuclear missile to the face. It won't be pretty. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai promised that all those of his people, the 2/3 that don't want to listen, gonna die a painful death. So he's gonna let them feel the full totality of getting their flesh literally singed off. But that's all I had on that. I hope this video was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai. Shalom.